People have been asking me for years to show them how to make this Greek potato salad because it's just delicious. You won't be disappointed, trust me, especially this Greek potato salad. This one's great. If you're going somewhere and you don't have a refrigerator, this doesn't need to be refrigerated. And people are going to be like, wow, that's different. That's interesting. That's really good. You'd be the rock star of the party. You start with an Idaho russet potato in cold water, and you bring it to a simmer for 50 minutes. You time it. You don't want it at a boil because you don't want the potatoes banging around and getting all bruised and battered. You want them just to simmer and cook. And once that potato is cooked, then you're going to pour a little bit of that water out. You're not going to dump it into a colander. You're going to dump some of that water out, and then you're going to take them out one at a time and lay them on a sheet pan. And they're going to look like this. And then you peel them with a serrated steak knife, and the peel just comes right off. You just drag that straight. Now I'm not losing all potato. All I'm taking off is that skin. Okay, you want to use a russet baking potato. And the reason why you don't peel these potatoes ahead of time is because it'll absorb all that water. And we don't want that. We want the dressing to get absorbed. And I cut the pieces in fairly big chunks because when I mix it, it's going to break this potato down even more. Any imperfections, you cut right out. I cooked the potatoes for 50 minutes and then I let them sit for 50 minutes. I started these potatoes at 3 o'clock today. They were done just a little bit before 4 o'clock. And then I let them sit for another 50 minutes at least, so they were cool enough, but still warm for me to work with. You know, you want these potatoes a little bit warm so they can absorb all the flavorings that we're going to add to it. By the way, this is a 5-pound batch of potatoes. That's how they usually sell them in the store, in a 5-pound bag. So you get a 5-pound bag, cold water on the stove. You turn it on to about a medium-high heat. You simmer them for 50 minutes exactly. You check it with a knife to make sure they're cooked, but they're still firm. You put them on a sheet pan. You take them out one at a time. You don't bang them around in a colander. Let them cool off. You get to this point, and then you peel them and you cut them. And you cut them in a pretty big piece because when you're mixing, they're going to knock down even more. In my tub here, I got some of my homemade mayo made with avocado oil. I got 5 cups of mayonnaise. And then to this, we're going to add a cup of chopped parsley and dill. This is 3 bunches of green onions. We got a half a tablespoon of kosher salt, half a tablespoon of fresh ground pepper. My daughter just ground that today, so it's got a nice floral to it. You know, fresh pepper, fresh lemon juice has always been used here. I got a half a cup of really good Dijon mustard, and we're going to get this mixed up ahead of time. And the reason why I mix this up now is I don't want to have mustard sticking to a couple of potatoes. I want all the mayonnaise and the herbs and the salt and pepper to be evenly distributed. That's why I do this on the side. I want this to be thoroughly mixed so I don't have to overmix my potato salad. And this is going to go into our cooked potatoes, which are still a little bit warm. You know, what I do when I make this at home for myself, my kids will tell you that I put a bowl in the freezer. I make the potato salad. I put a little potato salad into that bowl coming out of the freezer, and then I set it in the fridge for about 10 minutes or so. And then I eat that bowl because I can't wait. But it's best when the potato salad is cold, and it usually takes a night. Okay, now I boiled these eggs. I set the eggs in cold water, and as soon as that water comes to a boil, I time it exactly 10 minutes. And once the 10 minutes is done, I've got a perfect hard-boiled egg, as you can see. Nice, creamy, not green, everything. You know, you don't get this potato salad at the store where you get fresh, hard-cooked eggs, where you get really good potatoes that haven't been chemicaled and mass peeled. You know, a good mayonnaise that's stiff and thick and made with good oil. Now, you could use one of those egg slicers, but I don't like to use that because I like my pieces of egg to be present in my potato salad. And I used a dozen eggs, 3 bunches of green onions, the salt, the pepper, the mustard, and the mayo, the parsley, and the fresh dill, and that's it. I've been making this potato salad for nearly 30 years, and it's really good. People loved it. You know, it's that fresh potato, the fresh eggs. That mustard gives you a little bit of tang. I like to use the Dijon instead of yellow. And I kind of work that in. You notice this is why I did the large pieces of potato, because this is breaking it up. Now, if you want to use other garnishes in your potato salad, like your grandmother used to make, that's fine. This is all-American potato salad. We get all that mayonnaise and herbs mixed in there. And that's our potato salad. And when you serve it, you might want to have some extra eggs to use for garnish. It's always nice to garnish the potato salad with some fresh eggs. When this is cold, though, oh my God, you're going to love it. Real American potato salad. Now, for the Greek potato salad, my mother made this all the time and we loved it. What's nice about Greek potato salad is it can be made and then served room temperature because there's no mayonnaise in it. It's basically a really good Greek dressing. A cup of fresh squeezed lemon juice we squeezed this morning, a tablespoon and a half of fresh garlic, 2 tablespoons of Greek oregano, 1/4 cup of capers. I'm just going to put some of these onions in here and put the rest in my bowl. The same with the herbs, fresh dill, Italian parsley, rough chopped. Just like you're making a vinaigrette at home, you start with shallots and Dijon mustard and an acid. You got a 1/2 tablespoon of salt, 1/2 tablespoon of fresh ground black pepper. And then to this, we're going to add our 2 cups of olive oil. And we mix as we add that slowly to get this emulsified. Because again, I want to make sure my dressing is fully mixed. I want to taste this to make sure the salt, everything is right. It was 2 cups of pomace olive oil, not extra virgin. I like the lighter olive oil for this because it doesn't overpower everything else. Again, these are warm potatoes that I peeled just before the show. My mother used to put peas in here, but we weren't crazy about the peas. I'm not a fan of the red potato because the texture is too mushy. I like the texture of the russet potato because it's got that powdery, dry, it sucks in everything. Those red potatoes, they'd be a pain in the butt to peel, first of all. And second of all, it just doesn't have the texture that I like. My mom would make this in a bowl like this at home, and then it sat in the kitchen until it was gone. This is a great potato salad for picnics because it doesn't need to be refrigerated, and you don't have to worry about getting sick from the mayonnaise. And there's no dairy, and it's like a Greek salad made with potatoes. It's so good. And because these potatoes were cooked and they're still a little warm, see how it soaked up all that dressing? And these potatoes now have all that lemony, beautiful dressing. You know, and you got some chunks of potato in there, and you got the dill that's sticking out, and a little bit of capers that gives you a wow factor. These potato salads, the 5-pound batch, make just a little over 2 half-gallon containers. And it'll last in your cooler for at least 12 to 14 days. If you get it in a refrigerator, tightly sealed, and you keep your refrigerator in the upper 30s, when you do the Greek potato salad, pull that out of the cooler. Let that temper, let that get a little bit warm because you get more flavor when it's warm. I like the green onions. That's what I prefer. You absolutely could use any onion you want. You can use spring onions, you can use chives, you can use shallots, you could use the red onions, but the green onions is what I grew up eating and what I really enjoy. Once this potato salad is cold tomorrow, it's just going to be so delicious. And like all my recipes, I like to taste it. That baking potato has just got such a nice texture. It's meaty, it's firm, and you've got this really flavorful mayonnaise dressing. There's not a lot of salt in there. The fresh pepper comes through because it's fresh. Now, I make this for myself at home, and I get a couple of half-gallon tubs. And I tell you, when I come home, I like having a small bowl of potato salad for a snack. I've sold this for many catered events and sold it in the restaurant, and people just love it. They want to know what the secret is, and today I showed it to you.